Outdoor enthusiasts, listen up. This one's for you. Let's freaking do it. Hello, I'm Jeff, and I make outdoor gear and knife review videos as well as outdoor videos. So please subscribe before you take off. Talking about a really fun knife today for all you folks that are outdoor enthusiasts and get out and hunt and fish and hike and camp and barbecue and do things on the outdoors. Pixie. Sorry, cat issue. I think you'll find this knife today to be a great addition to your toolkit. And the knife I'm discussing is the Benchmade Mini Crooked River. The Mini Crooked River is the little brother to the full-size Crooked River. Its everyday carry size partner also sports the premium CPM S30V stainless steel. It's long-lasting, keeps a super sharp edge, and it's just an all-around premium steel for everyday carry. The handle's outfitted with anodized aluminum bolsters, contoured Dymondwood scales over a stainless steel liner, orange G10 backspacer, and anodized aluminum pivot ring add a visual pop to the modern hunting knife. This Mini Crooked River sports the famous Benchmade Axis lock, reversible pocket clip, thumb studs to get that fast, hard snap deployment, and it really caters to every user. So a few things about this on top of the obvious that I just talked about. This has that nice clip point design. Now, it's a little bit different than a drop point. If you're familiar with knives, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, these clip points have come to more of an edge like this, whereas a drop point is a little bit more bowed and comes more to it more drops into a point, go figure. So these clip points are a lot more popular with outdoors people, hunters that are trying to skin an animal, or fishermen that are trying to clean a fish. Getting that point to be able to get under there and either skin with the round bow, or to be able to really pick out stuff with that point is kind of a great tool to have. This knife, you can see size-wise, it's a good size for my hand and just a simple everyday carry. The overall length is a little under 8 inches. Blade length is a little under 3.5, like 3.4 inches, they say. Definitely an everyday carry size. What I love about this knife is I don't love when I'm gonna be out in the outdoors to use a folder as my primary carry. It's just maybe a psychological thing. They make them super strong now. They do everything a fixed blade will do, but I like having a fixed blade as my primary knife. But what makes this knife so interesting, and why I say that for an outdoor enthusiast, this is the perfect pocket knife. This knife will give you a great backup, a great small tasks knife to do on the side. It's gonna keep a great edge with that S30V steel, so you won't have to worry about sharpening a ton, hopefully. So it's just a really good all-around knife in that way. Now, talking about, and I talk about this a lot, that second kind of cool, it's important that you think your knife is really cool looking, and this knife is really cool. I like wood handles. You can see from my Spyderco Shaman video, which I'll annotate up above, I bought wood scales to put on that. This has that Dymondwood scales on it, which just really pop out. You can see there. Really makes for a neat handle material. It is still grippy, but it also is accented with that orange around the pivot and the aluminum part up here. Just a really neat knife, looks cool. It's a neat conversation piece on top of being super useful. Now, deployment, it just pops. Just like every Benchmade knife, it pops hard and it hits hard, which is great. It's just meant to be a workhorse, I think, for anyone that's looking for that. Is it cheap? It's not cheap. It says Benchmade on it. If you put Benchmade on a knife, it seems that it goes up 20% in value, or at least 20% in price. So I think as we're looking at this video right now, this knife is, let's see, actually I can tell you. This knife, you'll get it for about 200 bucks on Blade HQ's website. I found it online for about 190. That is not cheap. If you're gonna buy a knife like this, it better be super useful to you, and I think this is. I've been carrying this knife for about 7 months on and off, really hard the last last 2 months, pretty much every day I've been carrying this, and it is just, I think I've sharpened it once. It keeps a great blade. I should say it keeps a great sharpness on your blade. It's just a really neat knife, and I really enjoy carrying it. One thing that I don't love, actually for this knife, is not a big issue, is it's not a super deep carry. As you can see here, there is going to be a little bit that sticks up there. Why is that okay for this knife? Well, this knife is going to be for the outdoors person, right? If you got gloves on when you're out hunting, or you got some messy hands when you're out fishing, or you're camping and you're messing with some meat and stuff and you got some gooey hands or whatever else, having a little bit more to grab onto outside of your pocket, it's probably fine. You know, you're not worried about it being super concealed. You just want it to be in there, but you want something to grab onto. It also has that hole where you can put a lanyard of some sort on. And I would do that. I haven't done it yet for this, but I would do that. Probably not a huge deal. One other negative, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll probably have heard me say this before, but it does have jimping on the back. Let me show you that. So the jimping is there. It's kind of functional. It's not super functional. It's fine. It's not super grippy. The jimping is inside of the aluminum bolster or whatever it is on the front, so it kind of takes the edge off of the jimping. It's fine, whatever. You know, it's not great. I would like better, and I would hope that in the future Benchmade would upgrade something like that, but it's not a deal killer for me for something like this. It also doesn't have, I'm a fan, again, if you've ever seen any of my other videos, of having some sort of choil where you can really grip up and get some good leverage on the knife. This doesn't have that, but for some reason it's just perfectly fit in your hand, and I don't know if it's the contour of how it goes in your hand. I think that's what it is, but when you hold it, it doesn't feel like you don't have enough leverage there. It feels like leverage is good. You can cut some steak, you can even cut up some kindling if you want, some little kindling. You can do some fine work with it, and it won't be a big deal. So not a deal breaker, just not perfect, not having that choil. Other than that, it does have the adjustment for the pivot, which, you know, you can strengthen it up a little bit. I like it being pretty loose, as you can tell. And this is how it came, similar to this. It's loosened up some with use, but it's how it came from the factory. If you like it a little bit more stiff, go ahead and tighten that up. Otherwise, I think it comes from the factory really good. So $190. Great knife, neat backup knife. If you like this knife so much you want it to be your primary going out hunting to process animals or fishing or barbecue, things like that, if it's going to be your primary knife, you may want to step up to the full-size Crooked River. It is a little bit bigger. I think it's about 1.5 inches bigger. So it's going to have a little bit more beef to it. It's going to be able to be more useful in certain situations. I would probably step up, but this is going to be my secondary knife, my pocket knife for being outdoors. I don't carry my Benchmade bug out as much as I used to because of this knife. I still carry it, and I'm testing out other knives as well, but this is a knife that when I open my drawer in the morning, my hand automatically goes to, which is a good sign for it. Another workhorse from Benchmade. Subscribe before you take off. Thank you very much for watching clear to the end today, and until next time.